the wind came and hammered in the bones, flesh sprung up on the bones, skin covered the flesh, blood went into them, and they stood up as an exceeding great army. They were alive, and they were on the battlefield for their Lord. These people really believed that God would deliver them, but Ezekiel had a problem. The people believed that God would deliver them, but their deliverance was so future that they had no hope for the present. And now Ezekiel has to tell them, hey, listen, remember when you were born, remember when the nation was birthed, you had nothing, you were left in an open field. It was not by coincidence that Ezekiel said this. Let me tell you, it was common for this to happen in the time of the children of Israel. What would happen back then, if a child was born that's female and you did not want the child, you would take the child and toss it into an open field, normally near the western part of the camp. If the child was born that was female and the child was out of wedlock, the same thing would happen. If a child was born that was female and it was the result of an intermarrying with someone from another nation, you could take the child and get rid of it and nothing would be done. If the child was born outside of the tribe that they were in, that baby, if female, would be then tossed into an open field. So when Ezekiel said this, it really resonated with the people, because the people knew that when Ezekiel spoke, he spoke something that they could relate to, because they all knew about the situations that would happen right there in Israel. And so now the Lord rose him up and said, Ezekiel, I want you to go and tell my people that they are not going to be dead forever. They're not going to be left in an open field forever. I'm going to do something for them and they are going to live. I want you to know, based on the word of God today, 3 things pop out of the passage. I'll give them to you real quick and then I will take my seat. The first thing that we see in the passage, if we are going to live, we have to have our navel string cut. Turn to somebody and say, if you're going to live, your navel string gotta go. If you're going to live, your navel string got to be cut. What do you mean, preacher? Well, let me tell you my own story. When my son, who's 10 years old now, born, my boy came forth, and he came forth hollering. I knew right away that he would have a big mouth like his daddy. My boy came out, and the doctor said to me, okay, Mr. Bain, you have a beautiful 8-pound, 2-ounce baby boy. Now I will give you the privilege of cutting his navel string. And I said, wow, that's something that I would love to do. But I said to him, sir, you got to promise me that I won't be hurting my son. I said to him, if I hurt him, I'm going to sue you. So he looked at me and said, no, I've been doing this now for 30 years and I've not lost one baby to a father that has cut the navel string. So I said, okay. Reluctantly I agreed, and I stepped back and I decided that I would cut my boy's navel string. Well, he brought, anybody here ever cut a navel string before? So you can understand what I'm saying here. He bought the biggest pair of scissors that I had ever seen in my life. The scissors looked like garden shears. When he brought it to me, I looked at the scissors and I said to him, you got to be crazy. I'm not going to use that to cut my son. He said, sir, you got to cut it. And me try. Picked up the scissors. And I thought it was just like cutting a piece of thread. No. When I held the scissors and I did like that, it's not going anywhere. And then he said, no, you got to press hard. And so I held it, and I pressed, and I pressed, and I pressed, and I pressed, and finally the thing came off. And I was like, is my son still alive? When I saw my boy was still alive, I said, thank you, doctor. You really helped me out good here. The point I'm trying to make is, if my boy didn't have his navel string cut, he would be dead. And so the thing that would give him life in the womb was purposeless outside of the womb, which meant that if you have something in your heart that was good once before, when you meet Jesus, you gotta cut it so that you'll be able to really live. I don't know who I'm talking to in this church today, but there may be somebody in here that's hooked on pornography. I'm saying to you today, you gotta cut the navel string of your pornography so you can find new life in Jesus Christ. There may be somebody in this church that's hooked on the disco, and maybe last night you were on the dance floor shaking your laffy taffy. Let me tell you in church today, you need to know that there is one who can cut the navel string of your dance floorism and bring you into the church to experience Adventism and really live. Can I talk to someone else in the church today? Someone in the church today may be high on crack and smoking pot all the time. Can I tell you in the church today, there is no spirit like the Spirit of Jesus. He'll make you high. He'll make you ride on the high places of the earth. And ain't no higher can get you higher than the Holy Ghost. So get a whiff of him today. When you get a whiff of the Spirit of God, you will cut the navel string of your crack and pot, and you will surely live. Well, there's somebody here today who may be hooked on sexual addiction. He tells me, Pastor, that I'm so fine that I blow his mind. He says to me, sleep with me one night. It will be like a night in heaven. Well, I tell you today, cut the navel string and tell him after we're done with that night in heaven, we'll go straight to hell. Let him know by the power of God that your body ain't for sale. You got to make sure that you stand up and speak up and let these Negroes know they can't get that coochie for nothing in the world. Too many